What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Far Rock 22M, aka Infamous Owen, infamous_Owen on IG. Well, today it's gonna be real simple. Now, this video is really for the young fellas out there. It could be for everybody, but I'm really talking to mostly the young crowd and the young men and women too, young men and women. Because if I'm talking to the older people, you know what I'm saying, it's cool, but I think at this point, you should already know my message or get my message. So basically, the message today is, especially those in those urban neighborhoods, the hood, the ghetto, whatever you want to call it. Yo, stop letting these street people control your life. Stop letting these street people make decisions on your life. Stop letting these street people tell you how to feel about certain situations and basically dictate what goes on in your life. Because let me tell you something, right? I noticed that, and I'm from the streets. I grew up and, did my dirt and all kinds of stuff, right? Now, what I'm telling you is that in the streets is always going to try to hold court. The streets is always going to have an opinion. And I'm talking about like these bozos in the streets that really ain't doing nothing. Because the people who so-called call these shots and the people who, make these so-called decisions are the ones that run their mouth about what somebody should have done or what somebody should do if something happens. And you kind of get where I'm going with this, right? Because I don't want to get too specific on it. But, or who's snitching or whatever. Yo, I learned something, right, as I was growing up. A lot of these people who have an opinion ain't shit. I hate to say it, but, the ones that always got something to say, oh, Shun should have, if I was Shun, I would have wowed on homie for doing this or saying that to me or doing that. You know what I'm saying? All right, so if homie would have wowed out and homie went to jail, are you going to take care of homie? Nah, that ain't my... Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just say this, right? To the young ones out there that's, that really don't know too much or just don't know any better, because sometimes it's easy to be manipulated by these street motherfuckers. It's easy to be manipulated, especially by the older dudes that been around there. They'll tell you, what they have done and how you should do it, but they'll never tell you not to do something so you don't stay out of jail, or they'll tell you not to do something so you don't end up in the graveyard. See, that's one thing with the streets. They'll praise you, but when it's time for you to do something crazy, they'll sit back and watch for their own entertainment instead of saying, hey, that's not a smart idea, don't do that. Or, or listen, son is having a bad day, I suggest you should, leave this guy alone because something can happen to you. You know what I mean? But what's that mean? They'll rather put RIP behind your name or free such and such behind your name, but they won't tell you not to do certain things. This is the streets. These are the people who are influenced. Like, these are the people who, like, how can I say this? These are the same people who have influence on the young generation in the neighborhood. The same ones that tell you to go do some dumb shit, but won't have your back when you fail. You know what I'm saying? So I let the streets stop calling court a long time ago. Like, nobody could tell me what, when, or how I could do that, especially in the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you get older, you start to become angry with the streets sometimes. Now, don't get confused. I made money in the streets. I did a lot of stuff in the streets. But once you get older, you realize like a lot of it is just bullshit. The rules, the people, the politics, the rumors. You know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me, got a little gas. But even when it comes to like certain rumors, I don't spread rumors. Rumors stop at me. Can some of you street motherfuckers say the same thing? Or y'all like to spread rumors? Because that's what the streets like to do. Spread rumors, spread misinformation. So this is why I really can't get with the streets like that no more, because there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of rumors, a lot of lies. Streets is not based off of anything good at this point. The streets ain't based off of anything genuine. So when people live by that street code or they follow the streets, it's like you're going towards a dead end, because anyone who's lived that street life is going to catch up to you eventually. You know what I'm saying? It's going to catch up to you in the worst way. Nothing good comes out of the streets unless you know how to turn that bad into good. For example, like some rappers, some actors, some of them took stories of their life and put it on wax or put it into a movie. That's how you take that from the streets. But when you out here doing things in the streets, you getting your money, or you're not committing street activities, do not let the streets tell you what you can and cannot do. If you are not playing in the streets, don't let the streets tell you what you can and cannot do. Do not listen to these niggas out here, because they're going to steer you in the wrong direction. Sometimes the one that's giving you advice, and I'm not saying, all advice is bad advice, because here's the thing. Sometimes people could give you advice and you could look at them and you'd be like, well, who is you to, some people could tell you advice because they just don't want you to go in a certain direction that they probably went into, and they can see you heading that way. So I always try to listen to everything, except, I'm not going to judge you on how you look or how you dress or how much money in your pocket. But if the words you're saying make sense, then it makes sense, But a lot of times, a lot of these people in the streets, they want to steer you in the wrong direction. And then, a lot of times you look at them, the motherfuckers that been in the streets since I was a kid, they still in the streets. They still in the streets doing the same thing. So when you look at it like that, it's like, how can I take advice or let these people decide what I should do with my life or how I should make my decisions? Like, who the fuck is them? You know what I'm saying? So, and once I realized that, like, yo, these people ain't paying my bills. These people, God forbid, I get locked up, they're not gonna bail me out. These people ain't feeding me. So why am I taking criticism from them? And why do I care? And that's the problem a lot of times in the hood. We care about what these other people think. What these other people think in the streets, or how they gonna look at me. Like, nobody can't tell me who I can and cannot hang with. If I decide not to hang with somebody because it's out of respect for certain people, that I have love for. But if I want to hang with somebody, ain't nobody can't tell me, yo, that's my ops. Why are you hanging with them? Nigga, that's your ops. You know what I'm saying? Like I will not kill a relationship because somebody I know doesn't like that person. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get confused. If this person try to hurt someone that I love, yeah, I might have to keep my distance. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, a bunch of motherfuckers who don't put no money in my pocket, a bunch of people who really don't help me in life, can't tell me who I can and cannot hang out with. They can't tell me where I cannot go, or where I cannot, make my money at. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna look at them like, who the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? Man, you don't pay my rent. You don't feed me. So I'll be damned if I let somebody in the streets tell me what I should do or how I should feel about certain situations. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to ask them, where has that gotten you? How many people are you taking care of in jail? How many people have you helped with their families arrange a funeral? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like I said, even with the gang members, right? I told the young kids a long time ago, man, stop following these fake ass OGs, because they're going to lead you into a grave. I work in a funeral home. So I see a lot of times people coming for arrangements, but none of these OG cats is coming in here with the parents or with the family helping them make arrangements, putting money out there. They're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But they'll be the first to tell you who you should kill or who you should stop talking to or who you should cut. But they won't help you. God forbid your ass end up in a pine box. They won't help your family. You know what I'm saying? You go to jail, they're not sending you no money. They're not keeping you rich in jail. You know what I'm saying? They're not keeping your books full. So why do you let these people control your lives? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be damned. So that's why, like, my attitude, some people love it, some people don't like it, because they be like, damn, like, you really don't care. I care sometimes, but I don't care about these people in the streets who think they can hold court on other people's lives. You know, like a lot of these motherfuckers who make these rules don't even own a brick in the neighborhood. They don't own a brick in the neighborhood. These motherfuckers could be displaced in the snap of a finger. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come and say, listen, we taking this property, you know what I mean? We're going to use this property. You and your grandma's out of there, wherever the hell y'all at. So why would I let somebody who don't own nothing, who's not feeding me, who don't even help me at all determine what I should do with my life? Fellas, young girls, even with the young girls, don't let these old ass chicks in the street tell you, you know, how you should be moving around, tell you what kind of guys you should be messing with. You know what I'm saying? Or what type of businesses you should have, you know, and how you should move or how you should dress. You know what I mean? Unless they're giving you positive information. Now, if you out here looking a little provocative and you have an older woman or somebody telling you, oh, listen, you out here, you're not looking too good, maybe you should listen. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, a lot of these people who try to hold court and try to make these rules, a lot of them ain't got their life together. You got to look at them and say, okay, what are they doing? Because they still out here, obviously, and they still struggling with me. So what the fuck can they tell me? You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, a lot of times, you got to be careful. You got to think. You got to learn how to think for yourself. You got to learn how to think for yourself. And that's one thing a lot of us really couldn't do at a young age, you know what I'm saying? Because we're so influenced by TV. We're so influenced by social media. Like I'm seeing it right now. Social media has a strong hold on a lot of our youth. And not just our youth. There's a lot of people my age and older that can't get off of social media, that can't, you know, that let social media control their lives and let them control their decision making or how their thought process. It's ridiculous. So what I'm telling you is this, the main purpose of this video is that the streets ain't all it's cracked up to be. And stop listening to these people out there in the streets. Take their word with a grain of salt. Because some of them, a lot of times, well, let me not say a lot of times, sometimes the advice that you may get from the streets can help you in life. Because not everybody wants you to fall. You know, there are some good, genuine people in the streets. And I'm not going to sit there and say all bad people in the streets. I'm not going to say it's all bad people in the streets. But a majority of the times in the street mentality is never really good. And when people try to make you live by these street codes, like, come on. Like, they'll tell you, yo, you shouldn't snitch. You shouldn't snitch. You shouldn't snitch. If you out here committing crimes and, you know what I'm saying, you doing something, you shouldn't be bringing nobody down. But a lot of these street niggas, these so-called people that hold court in the street, let somebody have a little bit of money, they get a free pass. It's like it gets written off. You know what I mean? Like these dudes be dick riding people with money. They be dick riding popularity. If you got a little bit of money, you got a little popularity, you got a couple of chicks, some of these dudes don't mind if you break the so-called rules. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll say, oh, he ain't snitch on me. Or, I don't know, son, he might have stole from his brother or something like that, but son ain't stealing from me. He know better. So you'll still hang around him and you'll still take the handouts. And these are the type of people that try to tell you who to trust and who to hang around. And, oh, I don't mess with son because he's a snitch. Well, you mess with son that's driving that BMW. He a rat too. But he a rat with money. You know what I mean? Some of these dudes be scared because some of these rats, you know what I mean? Some of them be tough. And they'll make an excuse for that. So people bend rules all the time. So that's why when I started seeing the blurred lines in the streets and with these street cats, I said, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I even acknowledging some of these people? Why am I even taking advice? You know what I'm saying? Or taking their criticism? Because it's like, who the fuck is you and what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to ask them that. Like, okay, so if I take your advice and I get caught up, are you going to help me if I get locked up? Or you going to put some money in my books, my man? Because you're telling me to go down, or I should have shot son, or you're telling me I should have put hands on that dude. But if something bad were to happen to me, are you going to help me? Since you giving me this advice. And I bet you a lot of them times them niggas will shut the fuck up. They will. They will. So, ladies, gentlemen, young gentlemen out there, do not let the streets hold court in your life. Do not let the streets dictate your life. Because at the end of the day, the streets is always going to be there. And I'm going to tell you something. The most famous people, you think they live by the street rules? Do not listen to these rappers. They do not let the streets determine their life. Trust me, they don't. And in fact, that's why a lot of street niggas is mad at them, because these rappers, entertainers, people who just made it up out of the hood, they didn't let the streets dictate their lives. And then those street motherfuckers is mad because those people got money and the street people cannot dictate what to do with it because it doesn't concern them. So they'll tell these type of people, oh, they're not welcome back to the hood. They can't come back to the hood. Like, come on, man. I'll buy the hood. You know what I'm saying? I'll buy your mama house. That'll be my attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I'll buy the property up under your feet. Stop playing with me. But this is the type of shit we can deal with. So, like I said, a lot of times these people who talk that talk or try to act like they got all this power, a lot of times they don't own shit. They just got a reputation from shit that they did 15, 20 years ago. Trust me, a lot of these people don't want to go back to jail. A lot of these people don't want to be dead. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you like it is, they sure have a way of thinking, and they sure have a way of manipulating people. But ladies and gentlemen, especially young gentlemen, do not let these motherfuckers manipulate you. You control your life. It's your life. If you die, these people are not coming with you. So have a strong mind, be strong, because sometimes it takes a strong-willed person to not let people control you. You know what I'm saying? It takes a strong-willed person to be like, yo, you can't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't talking to you, don't talk to your parents like that. But these people in the streets, you can't tell me what to do. Who the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? And that's the kind of attitude you should have. And trust me, when you start looking at things like that, you'll be a little bit more free. Believe me. Believe me. Do not let nobody tell you or dictate your life, man. Especially these niggas in the street. Because a lot of times they ain't doing shit themselves. A lot of them don't own nothing. A lot of them don't have nothing going on. Believe it or not. So, this is just a little advice, a little word. And, y'all have a good day. Like, share, subscribe, donate if you want. You can donate to Sandman O on Cash App. I'll put the link in the description box. And, y'all just make sure y'all have a good day. And like I said, do not let the streets control you. Peace out.